Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Speros Batistatos. I'm the President and Chief Executive Officer of the South Shore Convention and Visitors Authority. It is a great day in Gary, Indiana, and I'd like to welcome all of you to the Allegiant inaugural flight celebration. And I'd like everybody here to give yourselves a round of applause for attending, and what a great day this is for Gary. We have a number of dignitaries that you're going to be hearing from today. Most importantly, our mayor. Before I introduce her, I'd like to point out a few other VIPs that are in the room, and if I've missed anybody, please forgive me in advance. You know how it goes with groups like this. I'm bound, and it's always the guy that goes first that gets the blame. So if we miss anybody, please be patient and let us know. Will Davis from the Gary Jet Center. Harley Snyder from the Regional Development Authority. Councilwoman Mary Brown, councilwoman from, I believe, the 3rd District. Mary, if you're here, I know you're somewhere there. She is. Hi, Mary. Two gentlemen that have a lot of influence and contributed a great deal to the economy. First of all, Mr. Randy Palmatier, Executive Director of the Northwest Indiana Building Trades, and Dale Johnson, the State President of the Indiana Building Trades, and also the business agent for the local Bricklayers Union. If I missed anybody, please forgive me. They asked me today to introduce to you a woman who, this quickly in her career, needs no introduction. But I could introduce the mayor of Gary, Indiana as a Harvard lawyer. I could introduce her as a former attorney general. I could introduce her as the immediate past chief executive officer for the National Association of Drug Court Professionals. But as a Gary resident, and for one of the very few times in my career, I can tell you, I'm confident that I speak for every person in this room, whether they're a resident of Gary or whether they're a resident of the greater South Shore region. This is the woman that we're prepared to follow. This is the woman who has a vision for the city of Gary. This is a woman that's going to take us where we need to go. It's my pleasure to introduce you my mayor as a resident of Gary, and our mayor, Karen Freeman-Wilson.
Thank you, Spiro. I want to take him on the road with me, especially home, to let my husband hear all of those great things. It is extremely my pleasure to greet you on the inaugural flight of Allegiant Air out of the Gary-Chicago International Airport. I know that the Gary-Chicago International Airport Board, that the Regional Development Authority, the Buildings Trades, and all of the other individuals who are represented here have worked hard to make this day a reality. And it is my vision, and it is certainly my commitment to all of you here today who are represented and those who are not here, that this is not just only the beginning, but it is the beginning of continued service, commercial service, out of the Gary-Chicago International Airport. We believe that the flight to Orlando is only the beginning of many more flights to come out of Allegiant Airlines. We want to welcome them as a partner to the Gary-Chicago International Airport, and we are here to say that if there is anything that we can do to make their experience here in Gary smoother, better, we are committed to do that. And to those who are flying out for the first time, we want to make your experience here in Gary great. We had an opportunity to, in fact, meet people from Michigan, from Illinois, from Gary, and other parts of Northwest Indiana. And so we know that what we've always suspected is true, that it is much easier to fly out of Gary than it is to fly out of Chicago O'Hare or Midway, and even for some, South Bend or Detroit. And we want to make sure that that is true every day that we fly. So thank you for being here. Thank you for becoming a partner with the Gary-Chicago International Airport. I want to personally thank our airport board chair, Mr. Nate Williams, our board vice president, Reverend Marion Johnson, Harley Snyder, who is a board member as well, for your hard work in this effort, and to all of the members of the Gary Common Council who are here. You already heard Mary Brown, our 3rd District Council person, introduced, and Ronye Scott, who is our 6th District Council person, and I also see our at-large council person, Councilman Roy Pratt. And so at this time, I'm extremely pleased to introduce an individual who has led the charge on behalf of the staff, an individual who knows airport operations and who has implemented that knowledge in bringing Allegiant here and his efforts overall in our airport expansion. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Steve Landry to the podium.
Welcome, everyone. I certainly appreciate everybody coming out here today. First of all, I want to say thank you to Allegiant Airlines for bringing your business here and making us your newest destination. Thank you very much. Also like to say thank you to Mayor Karen Freeman-Wilson for the support that the City of Gary has given us as our host community. I'd also like to extend thank you to the South Shore Convention and Visitors Authority for making this event happen. I went to them and sought help, and they were very, very responsive. Put this together with the City of Gary, so thank you as well for that. A lot of other organizations in the audience that could be recognized. However, I just want to say, instead of mentioning y'all, that the airport stands ready with all of you to move forward and make this venture with Allegiant Airlines a success. Finally, on behalf of the Airport Authority, I just want to say that we look forward to the growth of this airport, whether it be the runway expansion or increased destinations with Allegiant Airlines. As a resource for Northwest Indiana and the city, we stand ready to work with you to make all that happen. Thank you. And now I'd like to introduce the Deputy Mayor of the City of Chicago, Delvin Cole. Oh, sorry, City of Gary.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I just promoted it.
How's everyone today? Mayor Freeman-Wilson, Board of the Gary Chicago International Airport, representatives of Allegiant Air, elected officials, and the Lake County Tourism Board. It's good to be here today. As a former member of the board, I helped to lay the groundwork for the last 2 years to move the airport forward. We've had our highs and lows in moving the airport forward with its expansion. We've been dealt with construction issues, railroad negotiation issues, environmental issues, and a host of other issues that have gotten in our way, but we have overcame. But I can honestly say now that I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I would like to welcome Allegiant Airlines because they are a part of that light at the end of the tunnel. They will play an integral part in helping Gary catapult the future of the airport forward with its expansion. This is crucial for the expansion efforts of the airport and will help the airport become a major economic catalyst to spark enterprise and provide a multiplier effect in commerce that is substantial. So I ask the citizens of Gary to please support Allegiant and the efforts of the future endeavors of the airport. This will be the key to its longevity and also to the airport's growth. Thank you. Now I would like to introduce Ronye Scott, who is the 6th District Chairman of the Gary Common Council.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Oh, you guys sound more excited than that. We have new airlines. Thank you. Like the Deputy Mayor said, my name is Ronye Scott. I'm the 6th District Councilor. Also serve as a board member for the Gary Chicago International Compact Board, which we have the intercity agreement with Chicago. I want to thank the Mayor, Karen Freeman-Wilson, for her visionary as far as when she came in. This is something she always talked about during the campaign, was seeing the Gary Chicago Airport thrive in the city of Gary. Also would like to thank Allegiant Airlines for having the vision to see Gary, Indiana as a place, because Gary is the third major airport for the Chicago region. This is an airport that's regionally, strategically located, that will be more convenient as far as travelers coming from this Northwest Indiana region to travel to different locations. And I want to applaud and thank Allegiant Airlines for having the visionary to come here to have these routes. And I'm quite sure they will be expanding, because as we continue to move forth on our runway expansion, we're going to see other airlines come in. So we're very grateful for that. Also want to make mention that I'm standing here in absence of our president, Mr. Cal Allen, and also our other colleagues have been introduced, Mr. Roy Pratt-at-Large and our finance chair, Ms. Mary Brown. But I'm not going to prolong the time. This is just a great day. Happy to see everyone that's lining up today for the inaugural flight to Orlando, and this is just the beginning of more great things to come. Without any other further ado, I would like to bring forth the president of the local board, Mr. Nate Williams.
Good afternoon. I would like to welcome you to the inaugural flight ceremony today. As you know, today is a very special day for me, but it would not have been possible if it were not for the hard work and dedication of our airport staff, my colleagues on the Gary Chicago International Airport Authority, the Indiana Regional Development Authority, the Chicago Compact members, and the staff, and the Chicago Department of Aviation Commissioner Andolino and staff, the Common Council for the City of Gary, and also Mayor Freeman-Wilson. Along with the support of Senator Richard Lugar and Dan Coates, Congressman Peter Vesklowski, State Senator Earlene Rogers, and other elected officials, as well as our neighbors throughout Northwest Indiana, and everyone who played a major part in bringing this day into fruition. I would be remiss if I did not give special thanks and gratitude to Allegiant Airlines for their interest to help stimulate the economy, growth in Northwest Indiana. But most importantly, I would like to thank Almighty God, for without Him, none of this today would be possible for this momentous occasion. It is my prayer that everyone in the city of Gary, Lake County, and our neighbors in the Chicagoland area, as well as those visiting other states, will be able to make unlimited use of Allegiant's air service to and from their destination. Thank you and welcome, Allegiant Airlines. The next person, Mr. Fletcher from Allegiant. Thank you very much.
Thank you. First off, thank you all for coming today to celebrate the inaugural flight from Gary to Orlando Sanford. Allegiant is pleased to be growing so rapidly, and we're pleased to be able to extend our low-cost travel service to Gary. The new flights are going to operate twice weekly from the Gary Chicago International Airport to the Sanford Orlando International Airport. And we are confident that the local residents are going to embrace this new service, as well as appreciate the discounts on all the other travel amenities we offer, the attractions in Orlando, Florida, the rental cars and hotel stays. To celebrate this service, we'll be offering flights to Orlando one way, starting at $49.99 and a fourth night free when you book your hotel stay at one of our hotel partners, or some of our hotel partners in Orlando. All these specials can be seen on Allegiant.com. And we're also giving away to one lucky couple 12 free vacations or vacations for a year to Orlando. You can see that, all the details on that on our Facebook page. Thank you everyone for being here today.
Eric, thank you very much. As we wind things up, I think it's important, and Nate, of all of our speakers, hit it on the head. And by the way, we're joined here by an RDA member from Porter County, Jeff Good. Jeff, thank you for being here. I know you walked in late. This is about economic development. This is about jobs. This is about growing our economy. And it's very easy to understand why when we get on a plane and we fly somewhere, the economic impact we're having. We dig in our wallets, We pay for the plane ticket, the hotel, the meals, the attractions. So we understand it on that end of the equation. But our job as a Convention and Visitors Authority and our challenge as a city and a region is to get people on that end to get on a plane and fly here. And if it's whether we introduce them to Chicago for a cheaper and quicker method, whether they're introduced to our casinos, whether we develop hotel packages, which we spoke to Allegiant about today, that's what we're here to do. Air flight is about economic development, and we're concerned specifically about the part of people coming here as much as we want to make sure our residents have Florida easily accessible for their wallets that they work so hard for in Northwest Indiana. With that, I'd like to ask Mayor Karen Freeman-Wilson to come back up, and all of our speakers. If you spoke, would you please join us up here as well so we can field questions from the media and make sure that everyone who came out today gets any questions on their mind addressed, and we take care of that for you. So with that, yes, sir.
Just what was your name again?
My first name is Spiro, that's S-P-E-R-O, last name Batistatos, B-A-T-I-S-T-A-T-O-S, President, CEO, South Shore Convention and Visitors Authority. I guess that's Spiro traditional spelling, but yes.
Now, you said that Allegiant is, you expect other airlines to come here, like Allegiant. Who else does this kind of total packaging? Airfare, hotels. Does anyone else do this?
In front of the podium, please.
Right now, we are not quoting any other airlines. I think the meaning of the statement was with the runway expansion going on and the example that Allegiant is showing by coming here, that in the future the possibility of other airlines coming here has been increased.
Other questions? Yes, sir.
Hasn't worked before. Why will this work?
Well, I won't speak for Allegiant itself, but airlines that we've had in the past have not had the financial success and track record that Allegiant has. Allegiant is the only major airline in the United States that has shown a profit through this economic downturn that we've had lately. And frankly, they're just a different animal than what we've had here before.
Yeah, like Steve was saying, we think Allegiant's going to be successful because we have a very unique business model. We're connecting underserved markets to vacation destinations, and Gary is an underserved market. Specifically, why we can be successful here when others haven't been is going back to our unique business model. We have special ways to keep the costs down and low fares, and then also we're much more than just an airline. We're the travel company, and we help people book an entire vacation. And this is something that lots of airlines haven't fully been able to capitalize on. And so because of our unique business model, we see Gary being very successful to Orlando, and then also the possibility of continuing on and adding more and more destinations from this airport as we're successful.
Okay, so that means that this 2 days right now, today and Sunday. This place will be quiet Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then booming again on Sunday.
Correct.
And then, so you say this, as it grows,
we would love to be able to expand and increase the frequency, have more flights as well as destinations. And as it's successful, we definitely see expansion coming from the Gary Airport.
What kind of benchmarks are you looking for, Gary? Are you looking for increased capacity over the next 3 or 4 months? Is there a time frame you have in mind?
No specific time frame. No, there aren't specifics set out, but we are hoping to be able to expand soon. If you go back and look at Allegiant's history in other airports that it's begun flights to, sometimes the increase in frequency comes within a month or two, and sometimes it takes 6, 7, 8 months, and some stations we can't support the growth like we think Gary can. So specific benchmarks of growth we don't know. As the service is successful, then we definitely see expansion.
But do you need the planes half filled when you fly out, or fully filled?
We would love to have every seat full. We don't like flying with empty seats, and one thing that Allegiant's very good at is we find that there's lots of people who like to take our flights, and we usually have our flights very full, and we expect Gary to be no different. I think the figures that were quoted to me today is the flight into Gary and the flight out of Gary were each full today, so that's a great start.
That's a great reason for applause. Any other questions? Mayor, any wrap-up comments?
Just in closing, you're here at the airport, book your flight today.
Thank you for coming out, ladies and gentlemen, and we will be working with the city and the airport to locate some iPad technology, and we're also, as the Convention and Visitors Authority, developing a mobile site so everyone can have that available to them when they come out here and want to travel either direction from the Gary Airport. Thank you for coming out. Have a great day. We're all available for questions for one-on-one afterwards. Thank you very much.